Okay, we're live.
Now? Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
Finally. God, Steve.
How many years have we done this?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Like
How many
5
years have we
years
done
and
this? I don't know. Did I not just say I don't know? I think I said I don't know.
I think you did too. And you're still like, are we live? 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 Can they see us? Can they hear us?
Because I don't know. I don't have the thing about in my computer screen. You've got it.
I do. I'm in charge. I'm running the show. So before we get in,
running the show.
I mean, it's an objective fact. Before we get into our typical pre-show chit chat, I want to let everybody know we are doing a watch along, and we are watching an episode of Agatha Christie's Poirot, Murder on the Links. And if you were not joining us last week, and you are joining us this week, we watched the first half of it last week.
So the nice thing is you'll get to see like the ending, but you may be a little bit confused.
Yeah. Well, but before you go into whatever you're going to say, I just wanted to note for everybody, whether you were with us last week or not, if you want to watch along, and I hope you do because it makes a lot more sense that way. And there's a link to the Poirot episode that you can download in the description. And we are going to pick up, you can see the paused time code on the screen above us. We're going to pick up the Poirot episode where we left off last week, which is at 52 minutes and 26 seconds. So
you'll see some of those fancy British buses.
That's right. So cue up your copy of Poirot, Murder on the Links to 52 minutes and 26 seconds. And that
is where we
will pick up. In the chat, Baseball's Not Dead says, long-time YouTube watcher, first-time stream watcher. Howdy, y'all. Howdy, and I love your incredibly optimistic username.
What? Why would that?
Baseball's not dead.
Baseball's probably not going to be dead for a long time. Why is it optimistic?
Well, I hope not. But I mean, the long-term trend line is not super encouraging.
The long-term trend line for perhaps its financial viability as a professional sport. However, as just a game to play, it'll probably be around for a while.
Yes, baseball as a game will continue to exist for sure. Until humanity just completely dives into the dirt, and we become
probably after a baseball,
totally irredeemable as a species. David C. Drake, sometimes.
Wait, what did I miss? Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm almost always literal minded.
Almost always to a truly exasperating degree. She is literal minded.
Do you know the extent of my literal mindedness is such that I'm like, unless I'm teaching figurative language, in which case I'm thinking metaphorically, but I'm literally thinking metaphorically.
So, yeah.
Or is it the other way around? I'm not sure.
Or maybe it's four people thinking singularly, acting collectively.
Move Along Home?
No, it's the Four Horsemen. It's Arn Anderson. Double A, The Enforcer.
Okay. Something along those lines. I'll just take your word for it.
You should.
You say that often. Well, no, not often.
And I always mean it, and you almost never do. Caitlin says, since baseballs are made of leather, aren't they always dead? Yes, in that sense they are. Unless, as Baseball's Not Dead points out, the ball has been juiced. But then that's a completely different sense of dead than what Caitlin means. Aren't words fun?
They're interesting.
They can mean so many different things.
Yeah. Occasionally annoying. As we discussed this morning, what were we talking about that it means? Music theme.
Oh, theme. Yes.
Theme. That theme in music is not the same as a theme in music is a motif.
a character having a theme that you hear whenever they do something is not actually, it's technically, it'd be more proper to call it a motif, but we call it a theme. Yeah.
Musicians, so imprecise.
God, yeah. Is that why you couldn't become one, because it just didn't work in your brain? What do you have?
I don't. More, I think it was all the practicing.
Well, I'm right there with you on that. I'm like, how long is it going to take for me to even get okay at this? Oh, fuck that.
How many times do I have to run the scale? I did the scale. I have to do it again? What? I already did it.
I don't think I've ever asked you this.
Oh?
And if I have forgotten.
Go for it.
What are your thoughts on jazz?
Jazz is fine. What?
Okay.
Jazz is music.
But I mean, because it's improvisational, and because jazz musicians will often not, it's like the old jazz philosophy of like, you don't play the melody, you play around the melody, like that sort of thing. I didn't know if that would be, something that would, conflict with your penchant for literal mindedness and precision, or.
Well, I like precision. But that has more to do with communication. For example, the idea of you play around the melody, I don't like, because that is imprecise language. But the idea of, improvising something that is related to the melody, perfectly fine with the concept, if that makes sense.
I think so. I love jazz. I have no objections to it as a form at all, but there is one of my favorite jokes on the American version of The Office is when Angela is upset about something and Dwight is trying to console her, and he says for some reason he says jazz sucks. And Angela says, jazz does suck. Just play the right notes. So.
Yeah, I would be like, there's probably some jazz that I like and some that I don't like. I mean, it's like saying movies suck. I mean, it's such a broad statement as to be useless. There are some movies that do suck.
Yeah.
There are some movies that are awesome. And, we may not agree on which fit into which category.
I know. I've talked to Jason about this, because like one of my favorite, and he's not exactly a jazz musician, he's a blues musician, but his version of the blues is very jazz, is very improvisational, is very sort of, instinctive. But John Lee Hooker, I love John Lee Hooker. I'm a bigger fan of John Lee Hooker's music than I am of most people's music. And I have often felt great sympathy for anyone in a backup band having to play along with John Lee Hooker, because you have no idea. He's not on the beat. He wanders off the melody. He's just feeling it and just doing what he feels in the moment that he should be doing. And it's like, how could you? I mean, you have to be a genius jazz musician or a genius improviser, like, just to play with the guy, because he's so sort of, what's the word? I can't think of the word, but just so in the moment, so I guess not off the cuff, but I can't think of the word now.
I mean, I would say, yeah, in the moment as a phrase is nice,
yeah.
But I don't know if there was one word you said that prickled me.
Oh.
And I can't remember what it was, because I remember thinking, no, you mean inspired. Instinctive. I'm like, no, it's not instinctive. Like,
see, there's your literal minded.
Well, but it's also like my quibble about the difference between talent and skill, because talent is
extemporaneous, almost... Philip. That's it. Thank you. Sorry.
Yes. Good.
Yes.
It is extempore from my mother wit. But like the idea that it is somehow innate. No, like it is based on a skill set that's been developed from like hours upon hours of regular practice over years and years of experience. Yeah. And to just call it like, that it's innate, or that it's some kind of instinct that, implies that you're born with it. And no, that's just not the right word. It's just not. Yeah, spontaneous is also really good too, and I like pantser, but I think it gives a different vibe, man.
I love a pantser. I love that. He's a real pantser, that one. I never got to see, because of course John Lee Hooker died many years ago, but I never got to see him perform live. But his son, named, get this, John Lee Hooker Jr.
Oh wow.
He performs, and he came to Hagerstown many years ago. He was one of the headlining acts of the Western Maryland Blues Fest, and I got to see him there, and he was awesome. And played mostly like his own original stuff, but played a few of his dad's things too. And like a different style, not nearly as, thank you, Philip, extemporaneous as his dad was, not nearly as wandering, more sort of focused and conventional, but really good. And the band was all black guys except for one like 18-year-old white kid who was playing the bass. And apparently that member of the band's dad was in the audience that night. I don't know if he traveled with them or if he just was in the area and caught the show or what, but Hooker Jr. is introducing the band, and he gets to, the skinny white kid on the bass, and he introduces him and he says, his daddy's in the audience. That's his real daddy, but I'm his blues daddy.
You told me about that.
It's so great. I was just like, oh, what a cool motherfucker.
But that's just it. Like Caitlin, I think, and Baseball's Not Dead are saying, that after lots of practice, it can be done without thinking. Yes, that's what skill is. That's still not instinct. Instinct is like you're born with it. It is like generational knowledge that is passed down evolutionarily. Like catching yourself as you fall, yes, but like the thingy bob that they do to your knee, or like when they shine the little light in your eye and your eye goes, your pupil goes, or like those are
an autonomic response. Yeah,
exactly. That's what an instinct is, or like a cat flipping in the air. That's an instinctive response. Like it didn't learn how to do that at all. I think there's evidence to show that language is instinctive. It is learned, but the foundation of it is instinctive, like because it doesn't have to be taught, whereas literacy is not instinctive. It is entirely learned. And I can read without really thinking about it. I mean, most of us can if we're literate. We've been literate most of our lives. You don't really think about the placement of the letters and is this diphthong, is it EI or IE, and what type of vowel sound does it make? You are not thinking about that. You're just like, these are the words. But it's still learned.
But have you ever had the experience where you have like a fleeting moment of awareness, if that's even the right word, where you're reading something and for whatever reason you really notice how a particular word looks and it looks wrong?
Oh yeah, quite often.
And you're like, is that how that's spelled?
There's actually a phrase for it. Yeah. There's a phrase for that. When you see a word like frequently, and then it kind of like gets disjointed in your head, and it's like that's not. It feels wrong just because of the repetition. But also for me, sometimes it's font. Like I love A, because like depending on whether you're using the serif or sans serif font, it looks almost completely different.
It's completely different. It can be like that, or it can be like that.
Yeah, exactly. So there, things like that, you notice things. But and then of course one of the big clues about literacy being entirely learned versus spoken language, verbal language, which is there's an instinctive foundation, is accents. Like you can learn to read it, you can be literate in another language pretty much at any age, and it doesn't affect your communication. Right. But once you've gotten out of like your really early childhood years, if you learn a new language, you're gonna have an accent, and it gets harder the further away from childhood you get, because there is an instinctive foundation. Anyway, sorry, just as an English like teacher and somebody really interested in language, those kinds of differences I think are just like so freaking interesting.
I want to mention 255 AD says in the chat, I heard a funny Trek related story on a podcast today. Jesse Gender's friends decided to go to a Renfair and Starfleet cosplay. And apparently the people who worked there kept coming up to them and saying, "You're breaking the Prime Directive." Apparently so many other people had done this. They came up with a stock response. Can I tell you something?
Can I stop you?
I mean, you can make
the attempt.
No.
I can make the attempt, but no,
I haven't been to a Ren Fair in many, many, many years, but you and I went to a few of them back in the day. I enjoy a Ren Fair probably a lot more than people think I would.
I mean, given that there are other people around, yes.
Yeah, as long as they don't fucking fuck with me, I'm fine.
Just leave them alone, folks.
And this is a somewhat controversial opinion, probably. If I worked for a Ren Fair and I was like a performer, people coming to the Ren Fair like visitors in cosplay would annoy the shit out of me. Because I'd be like, no, you don't work here. You're not part of this. You're a visitor. You came to be entertained by us. Okay. It'd be like if you're doing it would be like if you're like in a band and like there's people with instruments like in the audience trying to play. It's like, no, that's not what this is.
If you wear a long skirt at Disney World, and especially a shirt with a high collar, and you have your hair up, you will be approached by someone in business wear and
see
spoken to.
And this and I
as an adult,
I
now,
actually,
if you're a munchkin, fine.
Yeah, they're not going to fuck with kids, but I approve of this because look, it's not about you. Okay? You're here to have a good time. So just relax, come as yourself and enjoy what there is to offer.
Hey, maybe they just like wearing long skirts. Get over it. Maybe that's how they dress normally. All the time.
Maybe it is. Maybe maybe they're a school marm, maybe they're an early 20th century school marm and they wear the high collar shirt and the long skirt and that's just the way they are.
Maybe they're Diane Keaton's, maybe they're a Diane Keaton fan.
Maybe she did have a certain distinctive style. I mean, she still does. She
fondness for high collars.
Indeed. But that's
not so
Diane
much with
Keaton.
The skirts though.
You see, yeah, that's true. She was a pant wearer. I keep saying was, like, she's still alive.
Well, but have you seen her recently? Maybe her style has changed. We don't know.
Maybe. Liz says, I think we just figured out why Steve was never asked to be a performer at a Renfair. I see. And that's another thing. Like, I don't think I'd be good as a performer at a Renfair. I think it would be exhausting. Like, I'm much more, I love to be a ham. I love to perform, but in limited, like, sort of
duration.
Designated. Yeah. It's like, okay, it starts here and it ends here and that's the show, right? I can do that. I love doing that. I have a great time. But if it's like, oh, it's from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and you're just going to be wandering around in character all day. No, that's okay.
See, I think you can get hired for some of the shows as long as you had the option once that show closed to go backstage and change into like a t-shirt and jeans.
Oh,
then, like, hang out backstage until the next show.
Yeah. If I actually had like an act and I could be like a featured performer, like the duo of Wu or Danny Lord, my favorite.
Oh man.
And I have like an act and I put on a show however many times a day. And then in between, like, I can just relax. Yeah. Like that's, I'd be all for that. Again, if I had an act, which I don't, but I'd be all for that. But like being like someone who just has to walk around and mingle with the guests, like, oh no, I'm not doing that. No.
Mr. I Love the Ants, that is a great story. I've been binging on Murder, She Wrote. That sounds like it could be an episode of Murder, She Wrote. There wasn't supposed to be a bullet.
Oh, yeah. That's a great Murder, She Wrote plot.
Mm-hmm. In fact, I think I watched that one last night.
Yeah. I was just going to say, isn't that an actual episode?
Probably is a couple of them, in different variations. Although, let's see. Yeah, there were two. The guy said he only fired the gun once, but there were 2 shots missing. So they thought that he fired twice, but it happened that somebody had taken his gun and actually the murder had happened earlier, not like a lot earlier that it was going to mess with the, the decomposition of the body. but like a little bit earlier, and there had been a thunderstorm at the time. And so, like, you know, when the shot he fired in self-defense, you know, was only one shot, but then somebody else said, no, you fired 2 shots, and it wasn't in self-defense. You know, he was lying face down. So, yeah.
2D5 AD, I feel the same way about it. It doesn't matter what kind of cosplay. It's like if the gimmick of the thing you're going to is costumed and like the performers are dressed in a particular costume and it's part of the show, just show up dressed like a regular fucking person. Stop trying to make it about you. Whether you're dressed as like a medieval person or a Star Trek person or whatever, like just show up dressed like a normal person and watch the fucking joust. And
well,
you know,
like
you know
Star
what
Trek,
I mean?
it tends to be different because it usually is at a con, and like when the performers come, they're not in costume. They're wearing like,
well, yeah, that's it. Like at a convention,
clothes.
At a convention, I think it's a different dynamic because there's not like, there at a convention, there's usually not like a defined theme where like, you know, it's performers and guests and the performers are all sort of, you know, maintaining the same fiction like at a Renfair.
Yeah.
You know, and like you said, the professionals at a Comic-Con or a Star Trek con or whatever, they're not in costume at all for them usually, unless they're really fucking desperate and they show up like in costume or something. You know, they're
I can't
just
think of
dressed
any time
as
when I've
themselves.
seen like an actor in costume at a con.
No, I mean, unless they're doing it for a gag, like that time that Bryan Cranston dressed up as Walter White with like the rubber mask and nobody knew it was him until he took it off, like at the panel, stuff like that.
Really weird. I swear now, I mean, maybe I just wasn't paying attention and it was a similar name, but I thought when I saw the credits and I had to stop it so that I could come see the show, the episode I'm on now has Bryan Cranston in it.
Oh yeah. He's been around for forever and he's been great. Like
forever?
I mean, yeah.
Because
since the 80s. Yeah. Yeah. Well, remember, I mean, he had a recurring role in Seinfeld before, I think even before he got Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess met him in Malcolm. I knew he did, but he'd also done some bit work before that as well.
Oh yeah. He'd done a ton. Yeah.
Never really watched, but like, I'm thinking, I mean, this would have been like early to mid 80s. And so I'm just like, wow, he must be. And then, oh gosh. Oh, I can't remember his name and it's going to bother me, but he became like a talk show, not Mayer. Is it Bill Mayer?
Oh, Bill Maher. Oh God. Yeah. He did some acting in the 80s. Yeah.
And I was like, I mean, and they're both in the same episode. So I'm just like, yeah, I've been waiting to see. Hang on.
Does Bryan Cranston beat the shit out of him, I hope? No, I don't know.
Yeah, it is both of them. Yeah. Okay. So, because I was like, maybe it wasn't him. So I haven't seen, or at least if I've seen him, I haven't recognized him. And I'm just like, and so yeah, after this, I'm probably going to go watch the rest of the episode and figure out who the heck he is.
And but Word Nerd brings up a really good point about the etiquette of this kind of thing. Don't be the guy who wears the shirt of the thing you're going to see. That's basic etiquette. You know, I've seen Superman in theaters 5 times. You know how many of those times I've worn a Superman t-shirt? 0.
I will say
because I was raised right.
I dressed up to go see Superman when we went to see it, but I bounded it. Like I just wore the blue dress, like it's just plain blue, but it's this color. Yeah. Just so it's
that's like a blue dress. I mean, hey, I wore a blue shirt to one of the times I went, but I wear blue shirts all the time. It meant nothing. Yeah. I wasn't like time to dress for Superman. It was just I wore a blue shirt.
Mine was time to dress for Superman, but without being
not obnoxiously.
Overt.
Yeah. No, it's like you don't
obnoxiously is still putting it a little bit too strong.
Okay. When I went to see Gods and Generals, by the way, huge mistake, terrible movie. But when I went to see Gods and Generals, there was a guy in line behind me who was dressed up in full Civil War Union costume.
Ooh.
Right.
Well, I mean, the uniforms were wool, you know, right? And like movie theaters are notoriously cold. Maybe he was just concerned about the air conditioning.
I always remembered this because first of all, he was the only guy dressed up. He wasn't part of a group. Like, he was just this dude who showed up dressed in full Civil War costume to see the Civil War movie. He was in line right behind me. And as we were, and this was back in the day when movie theaters had box offices and you had to wait in line to actually buy the ticket, right? So I'm waiting in line with my friend, and I see when there's this fully clad Civil War reenactor behind us. And I turned and looked at him, and I said, "You here to see Chicago?" And he laughed. He thought it was funny. So we had a nice little fun moment. But between you and me, it's obnoxious as fuck to show up at a Civil War movie dressed up as a Civil War reenactor. Just wear regular fucking clothes. Okay? It's not about you. You know?
Oh. What would you have done if he'd been wearing a Confederate outfit?
I wouldn't have talked to him. I wouldn't have acknowledged him at all. But, you know, since he was dressed, he was at least dressed as one of the good guys.
Yeah.
In Western Maryland, which took some balls. Because this is unfortunately not really Union country anymore. Yeah.
South of the Mason-Dixon. Just saying.
Baseball's not dead. But Steve, what if they are the main character? Exactly. Brian. See, that Brian was in that very situation, Dana. There was a guy dressed up as a Confederate general when I went. Of course, I was too young to know how awful that was. Yeah, and it's always, they're always officers, aren't they? It's never like just some fucking, you know, grunt who got shot 5 minutes into the battle. They're always like a colonel or a general or somebody important.
I mean, I wouldn't know when I go to see. Well, first of all, I generally don't go to see those movies.
And like I say, in this case, that would be a good. And by the way, this semi-related, but not really. I really am not a fan of Civil War reenactment, just as a thing. Just in general, it seems really weird to me.
I mean, you know? I am not a fan of it, mostly because that's just a lot of clothes to be wearing in the summertime. Nope, not for me.
I mean, I'm fine with that. The way I think of it is, well, at least they're uncomfortable. You know?
Mm. Although, gosh, it's been ages, but I've seen have you seen the video of the black guys who went to the Civil War reenactors, like on the Confederate side, dressed as slaves?
I've seen that, yeah.
Like, you know, with the shackles and everything. They're like,
yeah,
you know, what is this, inauthentic? Can we not participate? Yeah. It just went there to make everybody else as uncomfortable as possible.
And rightfully so.
Good for them.
So. Because it's a silly thing to do no matter which side you're pretending to be on. But it's especially silly if you're like, I'm going to dress up as the side that was fighting to defend institutionalized slavery.
Yay.
Yeah.
Now, and I will say, also as a bonus, they didn't have to wear the wool jackets.
They were much more comfortable.
Yep. In more ways than one.
That's right. That's right. Because when you're causing the discomfort of others, that's a very comfortable place to be.
Then you get to enjoy the fun.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah,
yes.
we moving on.
Yeah, you wanna finish watching okay, and just again, if you haven't,
because we talked about this before the stream, and I said, did I talk about thus and such last week? And you're like, I don't think I did.
Yes, okay, please, yes, talk about it. Yes.
So if you were familiar with the Newbery Award-winning book Sarah Plain and Tall,
indeed,
there is a local theater company that is putting on a stage production of it, and I auditioned.
And
I get to be Sarah.
You are Sarah Plain and Tall. How about that? A role, by the way, originated on screen by none other than Glenn Close. So you are in.
Really? Wow.
You never saw the movie?
No.
Oh man, yeah, it was like a fucking Hallmark movie. Yeah, it was
Oh
Glenn
yeah.
Close was Sarah, and Christopher Walken was the husband, or the guy who becomes the
Really?
husband eventually, the farmer. Yeah.
Oh man, I might have
A
to watch. That
very,
sounds fantastic.
I remember it being pretty good, and it's a relatively sort of straight, middle of the road performance from Walken. You know,
Yeah, I know.
he had not yet kind of
Become
transitioned into
Christopher
just
Walken.
being. Well, I mean, he was Christopher Walken, like he was, you know, I mean, it was, I think the movie was in the early 90s, so he was well already Christopher Walken by then.
Right, but
But
he wasn't like the persona.
he had not become like, you know, like the same thing happened to like Nicolas Cage, where it's like, oh, he's going to just be that in every movie now, you know?
Yeah.
And before he was like a character actor who did all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, you should. I'm not sure if it's. I mean, I'm sure it's streaming somewhere. But yeah, Glenn Close as Sarah and Christopher Walken as the farmer guy. I can't remember his name. I'm gonna bet John something.
No.
Robert? No.
Roger. Jacob?
Maybe. Oh,
Jacob. Jacob, I think.
Anyway. Jacob. Okay, but anyway, that guy.
25580, I think I was replying to a different comment, like your conversation had moved on and I was still back here, and I think that's why I confused you, by the way. So yeah, that was, honestly, I felt kind of confident about it because I mean, they don't come a whole lot taller.
You were like, I've got this.
Dorcas, Caitlin. I wasn't a Dorcas. Who was I in the? No, I was. Oh God, what was her name? I can see her. I can tell you the story. Mysterious Ferret Styles. That was so freaking much fun. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. And I broke character like opening night when like I'm like right at the front of the staging area when they do the reveal. And like I'm facing off with somebody, and you know, Poirot makes the big reveal, and like the ushers who they have reserved seats like on the aisle so that they can go out and then open the doors at intermission and stuff.
Yeah.
And so they're like right there, and they gave this huge gas. And I had to like grit my teeth and like glare, and I sort of actually turned my shoulders a little bit so that I'm like, if I cracked, I could turn my face away from the audience.
Right.
I was holding back laughter because their gasp at the reveal of who the murderer was and how it happened was just so over the top that I was.
They did apparently they did not see it coming. They were like,
oh, it was so much fun. It was so much fun.
So when does
somebody else with Dorcas? I don't remember that. So it'll
when
be. When
does Sarah Plain and Tall open?
The last 2 weekends in September.
Okay.
I am going to try to get my parents to come earlier in the week for Tech Week so that we actually have costumes and stuff, and see if I can get them to like take some video.
Oh yeah, take some video. Sure, that'd be cool.
That would be fun. So I mean, yes, HB Haggett, Evie. I was Evie. I was Evelyn Howard. There we go. I mean, you give me a little bit and I got the rest of it, but I do not remember things. And see, I played the dadgum character. And then yeah, so it's coming up and I'm pretty stoked. I really enjoy it. She gets to be very clear, very direct, a little bit abrasive, but at the same time with some warmth to it. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
And you've had 2 rehearsals so far?
Yes, because we started just this past Sunday.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I might not have known last week.
Yeah, well, I think you didn't tell me about it until like you told me you had a
audition.
An audition like the day of the audition.
Yeah.
Like I didn't.
But I don't think I think I heard about it. I think I heard last Friday, and then rehearsal started Sunday. They posted the cast list and then rehearsal started Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay. Baseball's Not Dead has a good question.
What should we
know about Murder on the Links? Okay, so honestly, what stands out, what sticks in my brain is that Hastings tends to get caught in the sand trap.
Yes, and so there was a murder of a guy who's a rich guy
Mm-hmm.
who lives right next to a golf course, and his body was found on the golf course. And um, the point that we're picking up from is right after a scene where Hastings has foolishly allowed a young lady who he has the hots for to be by herself in the police office with the evidence.
Yes, I remember that now.
And when he comes back in, she has absconded with a piece of evidence. So that's important.
But she seemed so nice. And yeah, Hastings. Okay, I also remember that. Yeah, Hastings falls for a pretty girl, but she's a brunette.
That's right.
I remember being surprised by that.
And it just shows how foolish Hastings is to wander so far afield from his typical type.
Caitlin says about Caitlin and Tina are talking about PBS. So it depends on like different like local stations get different amounts of their funding from the federal grants, I guess. So it tends to be the more regional and rural stations that are gonna be hit harder. They don't get as much like local funding. So
yeah. PBS is not shutting down. NPR is not shutting down, but there will probably be stations that will have to close as a result of it, and maybe certain stations that don't have to shut down may not be able to license all the same shows that they used
or
to,
they'll have programming cuts and things like that too,
because that's another thing that the CPB facilitated. So but yeah, so it's not, I mean, it's bad and it's inexcusable and there's no fucking reason. It's an act of cultural vandalism by cultural vandals. That's what they do. But it's not as bad as it could be. Like PBS and NPR will still exist, just without an important form of support that has been hobbled for absolutely no good reason.
Yeah, I mean, because rich people don't want regular folks to enjoy life.
Well, I mean, I guess that's, or they feel threatened by truth and culture and inclusion and all the things that public broadcasting in this country
there's
enables.
Not as much control there because they can't buy it, and just and Caitlin, yes, the bet that Poirot will shave his mustache. I don't remember what the other guy said. If he beats the local detective, he gets the pipe. That's what it was.
The pipe, because he's a pipe smoker, and Poirot's like, I'll take your pipe and I'll shave my mustache. That's the bet. Yeah. Yes.
And Hastings is like, Poirot, I say.
And Poirot's like, I got this.
Whatever.
Don't worry. Okay, so shall we watch?
Let's do. So this is where we're at.
Yes,
and so
52-26.
Make sure you pull it up and you got your clicker, your remote, your mouse, whatever that you're ready at the play button. And Steve's going to count us in. He's going to say 3, 2, 1, play. And when Steve says play, we all click play together. Ta-da!
That's it. That's just it. All right. Are you ready, Dana?
I'm so ready.
All right. Everybody hit play when I say play. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, play.
I think I might be a little bit behind. I think I was on like either the chat or the Zoom, and the other window wasn't active. Ooh, pretty shot. Yeah, there's just the whole PBS thing is just so discouraging. Going to Clarksville. dun, dun, dun. Hmm. It's all coming back. It's all coming back to me now. Sorry.
Wow.
Baseball's not dead. What if he was talking about himself? Like he was afraid that he would get educated.
Don't educate me, please.
To South like Hastings. They always do.
Dun dun dun.
It's interesting. I mean, what I noticed about this scene is the woman walking across in the background, which seems so unnecessary. Because like everything is like a choice, you know? They're not out in the city where, you know, past might be just random people. Hastings? Rude.
My goodness.
Oh, that was why they had her walking across.
There you
See?
go.
See? Deliberate choice. That's I forgot about that. Mr. Body's body. It's gone. Wait, nope. Sorry, wrong show. You can tell this is later by the pants.
He's changed. Nice going, Hastings. Paper knife. That's a letter opener that doesn't fuck around.
What was that? The knife was lodged in his heart?
I guess, yeah. Was it like up? Did they angle it up into his rib cage?
To create confusion. It worked.
No, these aren't the tramp's clothes. These are Harold Lloyd's clothes. Look, Poirot. His downfall will be exquisite, Hastings.
No. Pearl Jam said that that's not true.
No?
Can't find a better man. And Hastings just like, what about me?
I want to see the young lady.
I love the way he looks. Jimmy, it would be because we are the olds and they're the youngs, and therefore they are the worst generation.
I mean, if we're going to be assigning generational guilt, let's assign it to boomers before zoomers, because last time I checked, zoomers haven't ruined the fucking world yet.
And also, even if they have made some terrible mistakes, A, they're young and by definition ignorant, and also they have time yet to turn things around. Who knows? They may get better. Dun, dun, dun! Ooh, significant glance. Whoa, interesting.
What?
Trofei looks like it is missing an accent.
I don't know.
I mean, I glanced at it pretty quickly. Oh, am I going to get to... No, oh gosh. One letter missed, to the right. Caitlin, I'm curious what makes it so bad, or much worse, I would say, than anywhere else. Probably sucks no matter where you are. Whoa. Really? Were they using the guillotine here? Man, those little quasi baseball caps there are like super. Look at them! They have little white hats on. They're so cute.
Boy, the Groundhog Day ceremony was a lot more elaborate back then.
Yeah. That first D, shouldn't that have an accent? Anyway. Or maybe the little sticker fell off. Wait. I'm trying to solve a murder, you dumbass.
Oh, really?
Hastings, you are the worst liar in the world. Well, Caitlin, it's the biggest race of the year in this teeny tiny town.
The biggest race, yeah, in this teeny tiny town, of course.
It's like the French version of Cabot Cove.
Hey, there we go.
Oh man, those ears on that kid. Actually, I think the little caps that they're wearing emphasize all of their ears.
Yeah.
I love that he's, flipped his little brim so we know it's him.
Yeah. Oh, that guy just flipped his too.
Dun, 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 dun. Shoot. Do you remember that? Do you remember the Triplets of Belleville?
Oh God, I love that movie. I love that movie.
And the huge thighs those poor men had.
Gigantic, yeah. Out of the way! Out of the way! Frenchman coming through!
Wow. Giraud, Poirot.
Indeed.
Until I talk with my lawyer. I mean, you know, he's not a terrible cyclist.
Bum, bum, bum. Poirot always pays his bets.
No, baseball's not dead. You say, I'd like to speak to my attorney.
Yes.
No, you say, I'd like to speak to my attorney.
I love this. He's like, I cannot do it.
Caitlin, I think that would not even occur to Poirot.
Yeah.
Baseball's not that exactly. No, but I just want to emphasize the responses are, am I free to go? And then, I'd like to speak to my lawyer. And then,
well, yeah, but you wouldn't say that in Ghostbusters. Gozar the Gazarian doesn't care if you have a lawyer or not.
In that case, you just say nothing at all.
She laughed at him.
Caitlin, I think Poirot sees himself as perfectly reasonable.
Yeah.
He just is not capable of seeing parallels there, which is part of what makes it so wonderfully funny.
Yeah.
He also wants to make a fortune in barbecue.
No.
Good for her. Kara, that's implied that's tied in with am I free to go? Because if you're being charged, you're not free to go.
Oh no.
Always a mistake. It has been drugged.
Uh-huh. A little Gerald's game action. I get it. Spicing things up.
I mean, Tina, that was pretty early on in their marriage, honestly. Archie Christie was Trash. Caitlin, the way this is staged, I would say, you know, it implies that they really do care for each other. So. Thought he was going to say unaware. Changing clothes, changing clothes. We are changing clothes in this. But my money's in there. There's also a couple of dead guys. Because she's pretty. Because she pretty.
Hastings, you idiot. Oh.
Caitlin, I lose track, but typically Hastings has a thing for blondes. And yeah, she was pretty. Excuse me. Sorry. He has a very nice mustache himself.
Indeed.
Woo!
Look at their funny hats.
That judge outfit is sweet. Look at that.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Do you think, like, before he comes in, he's like, it's so soft. It's so soft. Caitlin, less. Dun, dun, dun! No, I was simply right.
Oh no, is President Taft upset at me? What's he gonna do?
No, that's not fair. He's not nearly corpulent enough for Taft. In fact, Taft is mentioned in our script.
Is he president at the time?
Apparently, it's just, you know, it says here that the president is something. And I was like, oh, they talking about Taft. It's just this is what happens. Baseball's not dead. Would that make him Raft?
Rosa Taft.
Roosevelt and Taft are both dead. Mr. I love the ants. If that's the case, then this adaptation took some liberties with that.
Make your conjugal visit quick, Hastings.
Oh, that's so wrong. I feel unclean. You are a stupid fool. Of course I did. You fool.
I could tell you were easily manipulated.
Caitlin, I feel like it's corresponding to, how in America it's not everyone who speaks Spanish is Mexican.
What is this, a Lost Boys supper? Where's the food? Come on. That's a good one. Baseball's not dead. Oh, no. Oh, that's such a great Genesis song. That's a great Genesis song, too.
Oh, that was so good. So well done.
From the same album, in fact, I think. The little grassers, they are working overtime, huh?
No.
No?
Regular pace. Just watching everybody react.
Just the normal pace of the little gazelles.
Shut it, Hastings.
Shut your fucking face, Hastings.
What are we doing here? We're watching the house, you dumbass.
Oh.
Yay, Tina, I'm glad you were here. I hope we get back before we skedoodle, but if not, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, good to see you, Tina.
Dun, dun, dun. And before you disinherited him. But I don't like you anymore. Christie likes that bit. Dun, dun, dun. One of the things I've always found amusing is the one stab and they gone.
You stab them in the right place. You only need one.
Yeah, I know, but they always manage to stab them in the right place, despite the fact that they are not trained as either medical professionals or assassins. Yeah, Liz, exactly. Knife. I love the fact that she apparently takes it out of the bag instead of just taking the whole thing, tucking that sucker in her purse. Dun, dun, dun.
Will the mystery guest please sign in?
Little footsteps, little footsteps, little footsteps. Oh, what do you think's in the box? See, this is great. Poirot's like, and now, you'll live longer because you ain't ever gonna smoke again. Baseball? Sitting that pot and peep? See, Caitlin, she's got the time, though, so she can make sure the entire damn thing burns. Use an extra match if you gotta. Oh, he wearing the cream-colored pants again. I like that outfit. Oh, boy. Oh, pretty. I don't think so, Mr. I Love Dance. I don't remember this. I don't remember this particular romance type thing. It's hilarious. Huh. I'm gonna have to look into that. Because I honestly really do not.
You don't remember if that's if that's in the book or not?
Well, I don't remember it from the book, but also the chronology, like the exact order of the Poirot and Hastings books. Like I know the bookends, the first one, the last one. Other than that, I got no clue. I got nothing. The ones in between, they're just all kind of, which one's first, which one's nothing.
Yeah.
Don't know because I don't care.
Well, and I mean, the show it's like the Sherlock Holmes show too, right? I mean, it's not, the episodes are not in the same order as the stories were published.
Maybe. Again, don't know, don't care.
I like Kara said in the chat, gloating does not become you, Poirot. I beg to differ. I mean, maybe it doesn't become him like as a person, but as a character, it's one of his most delightful traits. I mean, and also what I love about it, and this is, I mean, it's part of Holmes's character in a different way, but like by making Poirot such an egotist, it makes up for the fact that he is like pretty much always right and solves all the, you know what I mean? It's like it keeps him from, it's like, yeah, he's a great detective and he always figures it out in the end, and he's, you know, like he always gets his man, et cetera, et cetera. But also like he's really full of himself, and you know, like it's so he's not like a perfect flaw, you know, he's not a flawless character.
It's the other way around. Like, oh, he's so full of himself. But in fairness, he's right. Like, he earns it, you know? It's like, he deserves to be full of himself. You know, he worked hard for
that. He is the world's greatest detective. And based on the ending of this one, also apparently the world's greatest wingman. He hooked Hastings up there.
Yeah.
You know?
I think part of the reason I don't remember this is she's, other than not being blonde, she like does, I mean, she's a brunette. Other than that, like any other woman who's like, oh honey, you're kind of cute and you're a doofus, but you know, whatever. Like, I mean, she does not show any actual interest in Hastings whatsoever. There's no actual chemistry between them, and I was like, oh god, please don't. Just, you know, it's very forced at the ending because
the ending does feel kind of forced because you're right, there's not like any sort of spark between them. Like Hastings likes her obviously, but she's not like,
well, and not only she, first of all, she doesn't reciprocate until apparently the end. We're supposed to believe it for reasons. And then, although she does say that he's a kind man, so it feels more like almost not exactly a marriage of convenience, but of complacency. And then, like, his response to her is, you know, sure, it's very authentic, as is his response every time there's a good-looking woman. Just as authentic in all those times. There's nothing that makes this particular instance stand out anymore whatsoever. So, whatever. Yeah. Mr. Oh man, I can't wait till we get to Lord Edgeworth Dies. I love that one. Now, I will say, that's one of my favorite of her books. I don't know if it's coincidental, but I love her blondes because that character, the actress there, in fact, her name might even be Jane in that book. And then in the Miss Marple series, the Tuesday Club Murders, the actress Jane in that one as well.
Yeah.
That character, who is a side character, may be my favorite Christie character out of all of them.
Wow.
Because like her story is like, so a bunch of people in St. Mary Mead decide to get together and they're going to tell stories about murders, like real life murders that were never solved, that they happen, just based on connections, they happen to know how it turned out. But that were not originally solved, you know, puzzled the police for ages. And so the actress is something of a bubblehead. And her story is such a delight because she tells it and everybody is stumped. And then they say, well, you know, you got us, Jane, tell us who it is. And she's like, oh, but I don't know. They're like, what do you mean you don't know? She's like, but I wanted to find out. And all of you are so clever. I thought I would tell you this story and you'd figure it out. And then I would know the answer. You could tell me. Yeah. And they're like, you suck, because now, of course, they're all invested. They're invested. They want to know what the answer is, and nobody knows. And it's so funny because they're all like just like salty as hell about it, and it's so funny and it's so good. And one of the and then Chrissy tops that even because Miss Marple did figure it out, and she goes afterwards and says, "Well, da da da, but after all, we women should stick together, shouldn't we?" And like she doesn't tell anybody else because Jane also knows, but wanted to see if other people would be able to figure it out because it hadn't happened yet. It was something she was thinking of doing. And so I think she's there with Dolly Bantry at the end, and she says, no, it hadn't happened yet. And, I'm not going to get in trouble because I haven't done anything. And she's like, well, I mean, it sounds like it'll work. And she's like, no, I don't think I will. There might be other Miss Marples out there. So it's just, I mean, it's so good. Like with the the twist ending, and then the twist on top of that, and then the twist on top of that. Oh, so good. Yeah, Kara, same thing. Yeah. When she turns things around and finds somebody who, goes out and does something that she loves, and finds somebody who enjoys the same things, and she's not marrying him just because that's the okay thing to do. Oh yeah, the later part of her life is just so much nicer. Oh, it's so much better. And yeah,
you reminded me of one of my favorite jokes in the new Naked Gun movie, which I saw today, by the way. I haven't mentioned that yet, but I saw the new Naked Gun movie today. Really funny. And there's a line that Pamela Anderson's character has where she and Liam Neeson's character, Frank Drebin Jr., they have met for the first time, and they finish their conversation, and she says, well, if you need to talk to me again, and she like hands him a flyer. She says, if you need to talk to me again, I'll be giving a series of readings in the area over the next week. And he says, oh, you're an author. And she says, yes, I write true crime novels based on fictional stories that I make up.
Caitlin, those two titles are so similar. Here's it boggles my mind that The Murder of Roger Ackroyd and Lord Edgware Dies. Now, in fairness, because Lord Edgware Dies, I mostly know as its other title, which is 13 at Dinner. But like those two stories are so different, like so different. I think it might have been Raymond Chandler. I'm not sure, but supposedly it might have been Dorothy Sayers, but I think it was Raymond Chandler. Supposedly, The Murder of Roger Ackroyd is the book that he threw across the room because he was so pissed at the ending, and accused her of accused Christie of cheating. He said, they're not good mysteries. She cheats. Just, it's so great.
So what's the difference between edgeware and freeware and shareware?
One is the name of an Agatha Christie character. The others are not.
Okay. I mean, if there was a guy, oh man.
Also, Edgeware has a lot more money.
Lord, wouldn't like Lord Freeware be a great name for a robot? Like an aristocratic robot,
like with a C-3PO style voice.
Introducing Lord Freeware, and he comes out, oh, hello, it's me, Lord Freeware. Yes, Caitlin, there is a new Naked Gun, and it's excellent. I recommend it. I would say it is not, like, for me, the pinnacle of that genre, of like the spoof genre, is still Airplane, and probably always will be. I think Airplane is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Still to this day, it makes me laugh every time I watch it. The new Naked Gun is not at that lofty standard, but it's very good, and there are some really, really funny gags in it. And Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson, who are the lead characters, are both just hysterical. So I would recommend it, especially if you are a fan of spoof comedy, and it's been a while since there was a really good one, so this was nice.
Caitlin, I think part of it is, one of them I remember more for the conceit, and one of them, which is Roger Ackroyd, and the other one I remember more for the characters and the dialogue, which is 13 at Dinner or Lord Edgware Dies. Because, man, that last line, do you think they'll put me in Madame Tussauds? Just, I love it so much. I love that character. Yeah. Yeah, those Christie's acting characters are just so good. I mean, Mr. I Love the Ants, Jaws is rated PG, so there's that.
You know, the ratings were different back then.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we were just watching the earlier version of Jaws, which I hadn't known existed.
Oh.
It might be the pilot to Gilligan's Island. Gilligan and the skipper apparently build a raft and go out to try to like reach the mainland, and they get attacked by a shark that like comes just like at the end of Jaws. The shark comes in the boat and starts like chomping at that sucker, and I'm just like, oh. And my daughter's over here saying, oh man, the effects are just so pathetic. I'm like, yeah, like in Jaws, the other Jaws too. I will say the black and white helps. You know, it's not as you know, disturbing because you know there's no red.
Yeah, it's not as upsetting as it would be.
Yeah. There would be, let me tell you, if it was in color, there would be a lot more red. You know why?
Yes. Why is that?
Gilligan's sweater.
Because Gilligan's shirt is red, yeah. Cara, I love Blazing Saddles. I love pretty much every Mel Brooks movie up until Robin Hood Men in Tights. Then he just completely falls off a cliff creatively, and I'm like, what the fuck happened? He used to make the funniest movies in the world.
It's so self-referential because they literally say at the beginning, leave us alone, Mel Brooks.
And I mean, yeah, so but I mean, if you put a gun to my head, I think I'm choosing Airplane. Ooh. I think Airplane is almost a perfect comedy for me. Of that, I mean, obviously there's many different ways to do comedy. You don't have to do like joke spoof show, you know, but I mean, for that kind of comedy, I think Airplane is the pinnacle.
All right. I think it's time to wrap it up because I've been squeaking for the last half hour.
All right. So no word master. We'll just
no word master. So yeah.
Okay.
Y'all keep me in your thoughts. Tomorrow is the first day.
Tomorrow's, yeah, go ahead.
Tomorrow's the first day with students, which would be fine, aside from the fact that literally the day before teachers came back, I got my schedule, and I'm teaching, of all of my courses, I'm teaching one section of a course that I've taught more than once. Two sections of two different courses that I've taught once previously, one of them like 15 years ago, and it has changed significantly. I don't even know what books they're using. And another one, a course that I have never taught before, and I'm just like, oh yeah. And another one, and also one of the courses that I've taught before, I taught with no materials, no books, and I ordered books over the summer. They have not purchased them for me. Now they might, because literally today we got forwarded to us, our state superintendent said, hey, that money that we were supposed to get months ago that was apportioned to us by Congress, yeah, they finally unfroze that and actually sent it to us, so y'all are getting that now. So maybe I'll actually get the books. I don't know. I'm just,
well, so good luck. Let us know how it went next week. I mean, I'll hear about it tomorrow, but you all will hear about it next week.
Every day. It's been really rough. So please keep me in, like, I'm very worried about being able to, because they've just been like, here, teach what other people are doing. I'm like, I'm not other people. And like, I mean, you heard me today when I was saying, I need to rephrase this because I don't agree with the way they phrased some of the definitions. I'm like, that's not what this is. Like motif. They said motif has to be abstract. I'm like, no, it doesn't. You can have a motif of like as I was looking for examples, Godfather, the oranges placed in you know, where there's like a you know, death nearby, there's like a bowl of oranges coincidentally, and producers have said it's literally just a coincidence, but people have seen it and it may be unintentional, but it's still there. And that's a physical object that, I'm just like,
right.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, okay, but that's okay.
Anyway, keep me in your thoughts. Tomorrow's the first day back with students. And also, let's not forget that next week, this time, we are not watching Poirot. What are we watching, Steve?
We are going back to Deep Space Nine for the next 2 weeks. Now, I mentioned this last time. I'll remind everybody this time too. We are skipping an episode. We are not going to watch.
When was the last time we skipped an episode?
It was a while ago because we didn't skip any in season 5.
Made me watch the whole season, y'all.
Well, it's a solid season. It's a solid season. No, but so we're skipping Resurrection, which is a mirror universe episode, and I am of the firm belief that the only mirror universe episode of Deep Space Nine that you have to watch or that is really worth sitting through is the first one, Crossover. So we're skipping Resurrection, which means next week we are watching Statistical Probabilities.
Sounds like so much fun.
I think
in fairness, like with my, my tutoree that I meet with, we do some reading and we do some math. Yes. I like teaching math,
I know. You like it an upsetting amount. Yeah.
We'll try to spare Steve from any of the mathematical drama.
I will say for someone who was an English major and is an English teacher, you like math a truly unnatural amount.
I mean, unnatural pretty much just describes me. So,
I mean, it's like a snake saying that he loves mongooses. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not right. It's not natural. Okay, so we'll see you next week.
It's always a deliberate choice. I promise you, there's a reason for them to be there. There's a story reason. Because if not, they wouldn't have bought the dadgum things.
Okay.
So yeah, next week, same time, we'll be back here to watch some DS9.
Right.
And it's season 6, episode what?
Season 6, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, skipping 8, episode 9.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks for coming by and hanging out with us, folks.
See you next week. Bye, everybody.